standing your truth. Every voice matters, yeah, we see you.
Love who you are, let the world know. This is your moment, let your light glow. More than a story, more than a name. We break the silence, rewrite the frame. Autism, neurodivergence, every mind shines bright. Mental health, self-love, stepping into the light. For the parents, the dreamers, the ones who push through, Auesomely You, we celebrate you. Oh, 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 oh. Auesomely You, we rise, we shine. Vowing voices, breaking the lines. This ain't just a podcast, this is a move. Celebrating every story, making room. For the ones who speak in ways they don't understand. For the hearts that love big, for the ones who take a stand. For the ones who see the world in a different way. We amplify your voice, let the world hear what you say. Every challenge, every win, every step you take. You are seen, you are loved, this is your space. No more silence, no more fear. Auesomely You, we're standing here. We are the voices, we are the change.
Hey, you guys, welcome to Auesomely You Podcast with your host, Crystal Jordan. Now, just like every week, we step into the shoes of somebody new, and this week is nothing different. This week, we're stepping into an individual named Martin, who is also autistic, and he is an author. He has been awarded awards in the Special Olympics. Him and his mom has wrote a book together. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Martin, and he's currently in school to do speech. And if you know me, I used to be nonverbal, so working on speech was in my school, so I love that. So Martin, welcome to Auesomely You. Thank you for being on this podcast as we embrace your story and celebrate your uniqueness. So I need you just to introduce yourself and tell us, who is Martin?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on. So, as you all heard, my name is Martin. I am a award-winning disability advocate. I am a book author, business owner, music producer, DJ, Special Olympic athlete, you name it. And thank you so much, Crystal, for allowing me to be on here because it's an honor.
Don't make me cry. I'm not sensitive, but I'm sensitive. Thank you for saying it's an honor. No, I created this platform essentially for my son, but essentially for the community as well. So I really appreciate love and support when I get it, because I really came up with this idea like late last year, and here we are. And I'm just so blessed to keep having individuals like you on this platform, and the Auesome Tribe get to meet a different person every week. So I appreciate you. So let's get into your story. So I want to know, when I know you said you offline, you was nonverbal until 4.
Mhm.
So let's go back to your younger self. And I want you to think, what will Martin tell younger Martin today?
That's a good one. And ironically, we had this question come up in one of my classes today about what we would tell our younger self. And I'd say, despite all the bullying that you will endure and the teachers and others not understand you and not support you enough, to keep on fighting, because once you talk about the book and start writing it, things are going to change, and parents will start looking up to you and saying, because of you, I have hope for my child. And Man, I'm gonna admit, childhood was rough. A lot of bullying and everything, but when I received my autism diagnosis at the age of 5, I didn't really want to accept myself as autistic, and it took quite a while before I accepted it because I didn't want to be labeled as somebody different compared to others.
I understand that. I just did a soft launch a couple nights ago, and that was a something that was mentioned in the room about I didn't want my child to be labeled. But with that label, do you feel like you got resilience? Do you feel like you got the support that you needed, like resources that you needed as a child with the label? Or do you feel that you was bullied because of your label, of you being autistic? Or was it called Asperger's back then because that was the 90s?
Yeah, back then it was called Asperger's, and no, I was definitely bullied because of the label, and I tried to go through like regular school. That was tough, and a lot of teachers didn't really want to accept me, and I had to wait until like second or third grade when I finally got into special education and finally found a teacher and a few peers that actually understood me because I was just like them. And I'm not trying to like, I'm trying to figure out a way to say it, but it's, I found people that were like me and I was able to fit in with them a little easier compared to regular school.
That is one of my fears for my son with his amazing label, that he may get bullied. But I remember when I was in special education, I got bullied. So I think kids are kids. I just think kids are more, and this is more exposed now to be bullied because of social media and so many other factors. I'm hoping that through this podcast and through other initiatives that other people have created, that parents would now have a conversation with their kids on how atypical individuals look, how neurodiversity look. And we also, I hope parents talk about ableism and how to address that and not trying to be the problem. That's my hope, that we do touch base on that. Um, One of my questions for you is, can you share your journey, what led you to want to do podcasts and you be autistic in this space? Like, what made you now you want to be an author? You want to tell your story? What pushed you to be here today?
Definitely. That is a really, really good question. And what led me to do this is a little funny story. I used to think about writing my book Chatterbox as just a journal entry and not really sharing it. But it was when I started writing it where not only did parents reach out and say that, like, not only do they understand their child better, but I also did it because it was my next step into accepting myself and accepting my autism diagnosis. And I felt like this was meant for me to to do, be an advocate for parents and letting them know, like, hey, as they grow up, everything is going to be okay. And even with the autism rate on the rise, I mean, here in California, the autism rate is 1 in 22. And now I kind of understand why I was placed, or why I was born with autism, because I'm here to help not only autistics know that everything is okay and that they can share their story, but that for the parents, that everything is going to be okay, and that they are the rock to their child.
I have so much to say to what you just said. See, I know the main number is 1 out of 36, according to the CDC. I do know California is 1 out of 22. I don't look at it as a rise. I look at it as it's more awareness
Mm-hmm.
around the topic. And now you have more kids and families being diagnosed. I wish in the 90s it was more awareness, because in the 90s it was 1 out of 166 kids being diagnosed. But that's because the awareness wasn't there. It wasn't talked about. It wasn't in movies. It wasn't a lot of books about it. It was like a taboo conversation. Because like I said, I'm late diagnosed. I'm 35. I realized I was autistic at 33, but I still haven't officially had my diagnosis. But I feel like if I would have had my label when I was younger, a lot of things would have made more sense. Um, like when it comes to being autistic, it's hard to date. Um, or we do this thing where we like a person because they like us, but we really don't like them. It's more because, oh, you like me. Okay, I like you too. So I look at it as it's not a rise in autism. It's a awareness. But I'm not big on awareness anymore. I'm big on acceptance, because I feel like when I first started this journey with my child, I was big on awareness. Now,
Mm-hmm.
not so much. I'm more about acceptance and job security, inclusion, what is included in these concerts, what is included in the jobs, what's included in every space. When you have an event, are you thinking about other communities that may come to your events? So
Mm-hmm.
that's my platform. That's what I focus on, and that's the reason I created this brand, Auesomely You, because I really hope to for this brand to be as big as Forbes, and I can employ this is my goal. I want to employ autistic individuals who have a higher support need. Not
Mm-hmm.
I don't use the term high functioning or low functioning. I think it's offensive, because
Yeah.
if I go based off that, we already know what I am, but I don't subscribe to that. I just have lower support needs. So one of my goals is to employ individuals who are nonverbal, non-speaking, and they
Mm-hmm.
still can work. It will just look different. So yeah. So enough about my brand and my mission, because we
Mm-hmm.
I can go all day. But what does celebrating uniqueness mean to you, and how has it shaped your life?
Uniqueness to me means that we are our own unique self, and we're just like we are. I mean, with my unique self, I am musically gifted. I play 5 to 6 different instruments. I mean, it's it's there's just so many things to I could bring up, but I know we are. Well, I'm gonna be honest. I have to think about that, because I know with my unique self, I am me, and I am a advocate for the autistic community. Rarely get sleep, but I find that as worth it because to me, every autistic person and family that I meet are like family to me because they deserve the support. And as you were saying earlier, I mean, I could have said it differently instead of on the rise, but like more people being aware that there is autism. And I recently was at the state capitol in Sacramento representing 480,000 people with disabilities, getting Senate bills to get passed. We don't know how it is yet. I'm still waiting on that, but you know, to me, everyone that is autistic is family to me, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to be there for them, even if it means risking my sleep.
I love that. But I want you to put yourself first. Number
Mhm,
two, you don't have to apologize for staying on the
mhm,
rise because it's true. It
mhm.
autism is the what Google say the number one disease that's on the rise. I don't use the word disease, but
Me
it
neither.
says they it's stated. So it's nothing wrong
Mhm.
with what you said. I just look at it
Okay.
more as it's awareness around
Nice.
autism more. And I notice off of autism, I also notice there's other diseases that do not have a lot of awareness
Right.
pieces, but autism does, so that's amazing. But you said nothing wrong. You said
Okay.
what your heart felt. Don't
Mhm,
apologize for being you. But I do
mhm,
want you to put some self care into your day, and even if
mhm,
that means taking an extra hour nap, please do. It's very important. I take a lot of naps.
mhm,
I'm the cat nap queen. So take your naps. Um, the next question I'm going to segue to is now we already touched on this, but we're going to touch
mhm,
on it more. But it's going to be
mhm.
from your words. How do you think we can move beyond awareness into true acceptance?
Yes. Oh my gosh. I love this question because I just talked about this the last couple days, and it's like, think about it. Awareness means that we are aware, or society is aware, that autistics are here but not do anything. And when we move towards acceptance, it's not only are people aware, but they take the necessary steps to help make the world more acceptable. Like, be there for us when we need it the most, and just do whatever it takes to help us get through the day. And I say that like it's one of those subjects that I have a passion about, and we just want to wake up one day and be like, where we don't think about like, hey, am I going to get bullied today, or am I going to be misunderstood by others? And by focusing on that acceptance, people will take the necessary steps to help us, because us autistics are just normal individuals. I mean, yeah, we think differently, but that doesn't mean we can't do what we want. And I'm going to tell you an excerpt from my book that I wrote down here. Just for once, I would like people to step into the shoes of an autistic individual for a few minutes to know what it is like to have autism. Think of what you can do to help us so we can feel like others. There is no cure, but with your kindness and help, we can have a better life and be happier instead of being ridiculed, instead of being made fun of. And, for those listening, So I got a little emotional there. You know, we just want to feel like we belong in society, and with your help, knowing that autistics are just normal people. I mean, we think differently. And for any autistics that tune in, I just want you to know, like, you have what it takes to get through everything. You have a wonderful support system, whether you see it or not. And, just keep on fighting. And there will be a day where we start seeing acceptance and start seeing that people will start accepting us for who we are. So just don't give up the fight.
I agree. I feel like people will start accepting us for who we are and letting us. And with this podcast, that's why I always talk about being in your shoes for 30 minutes. I
Mhm.
want the Auesome Tribe to sit in your shoes and understand where you're coming from, understand your story, and embrace your story because everyone's story is different. And I do think when it comes to April is known to be Autism Awareness Month, right?
Yeah.
I believe that every month is awareness and acceptance month when it comes to autism. I have
Mhm.
recently came encounter with people who are advocates who only value to be featured in April.
Mm.
And it broke my heart because it's 365 days for us to really talk about autism awareness and
Mhm.
acceptance. If we
Mhm.
only focus on it for a moment of time, we're
Right.
we're not we're not covering the battlefield.
Right.
So I love what you said. Now we got to get into some fun stuff because on my podcast, I like to have fun. So I don't want you to overthink. This is called,
Mhm.
if you're new to my podcast, you guys, and you're new to this episode, it is called Awesomely Fun, Keep It
Mhm.
Real segment. So let's get into the segment. I'm going to start off with, hmm, hmm. Okay. 3 things that make you feel awesome. Quick list. Do not explain, just pure joy. 3 things. It got to be a quick list. 3 things that come to
Oh,
mind.
okay. A quick list. Okay. Keep it real segment. Awesomely fun. Um,
Three
music,
things. Okay.
music, photography, sports.
Oh, you're the first guest to get it right. Most people give me an explanation. I'm like, no, it's supposed to be quick, no fun, just joy.
I
Um,
love it.
okay, awesome confessions. What is something you used to believe about yourself that you now know isn't true? It can be something funny, quirky, serious. It doesn't matter.
Wow. That I I would not believe that I would be an advocate for people like me, and that I wouldn't accept myself because, it's taken 15 years. And so, but here I am meeting with politicians, speaking in different states, and really doing what I love to help others feel like everything is going to be okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay. Okay. Now, this one is a good one. This is my favorite one. The last test you sent. Look at your phone. What is the last test you sent? Keep it PG 13.
Nah.
If you
This one's pretty easy. Um, it was to because I run a podcast as well, and so I texted my co-host, I'm about to go on another podcast. Can I call you later? Because we have something exciting happening very, very soon. And
Okay.
he called me 5 or 6 times. Like, I just had to text him, like, just wait a little bit.
Okay, I love that. So
Yes.
let's get into the next one. What is your awesome superpower? If you can name your real life superpower, what would it be?
I would say something related to psychology. And
Mhm.
I usually have people, I don't know the name of the superpower, but I have people vent to me. I let them like vent if they need it, and if they get emotional, that's totally fine. I listen, and then my superpower is I give advice to where they actually not only stick with what I said, they reach back out and said, "Oh my gosh, this was super helpful. You should be a psychologist." I would
Okay.
be like one of your patients. Yeah.
Okay. Now, bonus question. If you could change one thing about the way society views neurodiversion or disability, what would it be? You could change one thing.
I think I would change that we are normal human beings. I mean, for those people that think that autistic people are different, that's not true. We're normal human beings, just like you, that deserve to be respected and appreciated. And we just feel like we're just like everyone else. I mean, yeah, our brains are a little different, but you know, we we are our true self, and that we deserve to be loved and appreciated.
I agree. I feel like everybody on this earth deserves to be loved and appreciated. I feel like we all think differently and it's okay.
Mhm.
My next
Yeah,
question is, we're done with the segment, y'all. My next question is, give me 1 second, coming back to it, is what does awesomely you means to you and how do you live out your that message every day? What does
awesomely mm,
awesomely you? Yep.
awesomely you means to me like I am my true self and I do the things that I love, even if people think that it's outdated or anything, but it's like, hey, I love what I do. I've created my own music, and it's and awesomely me would be accepting and ignoring what others think about me.
I think that's the hardest thing with having a disability is being a people pleaser and also worrying about judgment is like the probably the hardest thing or my number one thing that I used to try to do as an autistic is try to fit in. That was the one for me. I really tried to fit in. So I understood exactly where it's coming from. So before we get to my final question, I want you to tell the audience where they can find you and support you and follow you. And what is your Instagram?
Absolutely. So I run a couple Instagram accounts. My main one is Martin's Autism Life, which is honestly, I did not expect to have so many people follow me. I'm closing in on 3,000 followers. And it's like, people really want to see the true, authentic, autistic side of everyone. I mean, like, I would like for anyone who tunes in, follow other autistics on here. I mean, just like Crystal, I mean, we really want to show you like our true authentic selves. And I also have a Instagram account for my business, Spire Autism. At Spire Autism is the name, and my podcast, ND Support Pod. Me and my podcast co-host are getting ready to host our first ever conference in the United States, which is pretty exciting. And yeah, just those three. With my book, you can find it at spireautism.com. It'll give you a link directly to get the book.
I love that. Now, before we wrap up, I love if you could share an affirmation that our listeners and our audience can take away from today's conversation, something that reminds them to embrace their true uniqueness. And I know you have a quote, so I want you to start with your quote first, and then I
Yeah,
want you to go right into your affirmation.
definitely. So the quote that I have here is it is a little lengthy, so I might cut it down a little bit, but being autistic is not a burden or a weakness. It is a unique gift that allows us to see the world in a different light, to think outside the box, and to bring a fresh perspective to the table. We are not broken or in need of fixing. We are beautifully different, wonderfully complex, and incredible individuals. I want to remind each and every one of you that you are powerful beyond measure. You have the strength, intelligence, and resilience to overcome any obstacle that may come your way. Embrace your differences, celebrate your strengths, and let no one dim your light. And this last one is a poem. Ironically, I did it as a homework assignment, and I said this in front of the class, and everyone cried. And it was one of the biggest accomplishments because I struggled to share my story and share about autism from the classmates, but it was wonderful. So here we go. The poem is called I Am. I am a warrior for change, unique in every way, battling quiet struggles and loud wars every day. My body, marked by stress, tells a story, a testament of strength in all I say and do. I wonder how many trials must test my weary soul in a world that judges scars as if they were a toll. Yet I hear soft whispers of hope for every child and see eyes lifted upward where dreams were wild. I see the weight of prejudice on every tender face, parents fighting silent battles in a world that won't erase the doubts and hurt that linger when judgment comes too fast. Still together we rise, united, unsurpassed. I want to guide the lost so no one fights alone. Our differences unite us in the strength we've known. I am a warrior for change. My disability is not a flaw, but a symbol of resilience, defiant in what I saw. I pretend to wear the armor, though sometimes I feel the strain. Exhaustion weighs me down, yet hope runs through my vein. I touch hearts with gentle grace, a beacon in the night. I worry for a world still blind to our inherent right. I cry silent tears in the darkness so no one sees me cry. Each droplet tells a story of the strength we all contain. God will help us get through it. Just reach out and pray. I am a light that will not be confined. I say, let no one dim your light. Let your true self shine. I dream of days where labels fade and every soul's embraced, when disability is honored as a beauty interlaced. I try to hold on to hope, though sometimes my strength feels weak. I trust you'll see the power in the battles that we seek. I am a warrior for change, through struggles soft or loud, forever proud of every mark that makes us different, bold, and unbound.
I love what you ended with, and I hope anybody listening to this episode can take away your story can take away your beautiful poem.
Thank you.
There's so much to unpack here, but we will be here longer. So, do you have any other final words before we officially end this amazing episode? And also, I heard you say you have another podcast.
Mhm.
So, I want you to shout out your other podcast.
Absolutely. I'm gonna hop onto my Instagram account so I remember the name. It's been a pretty long day, but it's Neurodiversity Support Podcast, or ND Support Podcast for short. Shout out to my co-host Daniel Zimmerman. I mean, he's an amazing individual, and we're currently on our second season of this podcast, and we've had some amazing guests. I mean, is it tiring? Yes, but it is worth it, especially having other people hear about different autistic individuals and show that we support them every step of the way.
I love that. And congrats on your podcast. I'm not going to lie, being a podcast host is a lot of work. People think it's easy. It is
Mhm.
not.
Yeah.
It's a lot of research, a lot of work, editing, a lot of the things that come to play when owning a podcast. But from one podcaster to another, good job on having a podcast for us, by us, and
Mhm.
celebrating the stories of autistic individuals. So, with that being stated, you guys, I want you guys to like, comment. I want you guys to tap into everything he has going on. Follow him on Instagram. And if you're not following Auesomely You Podcast on Instagram or YouTube or Spotify, I need you to do that because we're going to be here. We are part of the Auesomely You brand. So if you want to be featured in Auesomely You magazine, I need you guys to comment below. It'll be an email in the show notes. And it is Auesomely You magazine at gmail.com. And you guys, eventually it would be info at auesomelyyoumagazine.com. But as of right now, it's the Gmail. And I want you guys, if you want to be featured, go to auesomelyyoumagazine.com if you do want to be featured in Auesomely You. And the magazine is in the podcast is for people that have autism, ADHD, cerebral palsy, all disabilities, mental health. If you want to come here and talk about parenting or give us some motivation, give us something a little bit different, I'm open to it. It just has to align with the audience, which is you are the audience, and you are my Auesome Tribe. So, Martin, thank you so much for being on this episode. Thank you for taking time to let me interview you. And thank you for pouring into me before this episode even began. I truly appreciate you. Until next time, you guys, you already know the outro is about to play. Rock out to the song. And I'm so happy so far. Everybody's loving the song. And you guys are loving the video. It's so neurodiverse affirming. And I'm happy everybody's loving it. So till next time, come back every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where a new episode will drop. It'll be a new story to embrace and celebrate. Bye, you guys.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We rise, we shine, vowing voices, breaking the lines. This ain't just a podcast, this is a move. Celebrating every story, making room. For the ones who speak in ways they don't understand, for the hearts that love big, for the ones who take a stand, for the ones who see the world in a different way. We amplify your voice, let the world hear what you say. Every challenge, every win, every step you take, you are seen, you are loved, this is your